Food is vital to our existence, and it is estimated that humans can survive for only 3 to 4 weeks without it. Fortunately, in America, we have access to an abundance of healthy and delicious food all around us. But instead of appreciating this abundance of healthy food, Americans waste 40% of our food by throwing it away. In fact, Americans waste $43.8 billion per year on food that is thrown away. Not only is it a waste of money, but it is estimated that 1 in 6 Americans are considered food insecure, meaning they do not know when, where, or what their next meal will be. And we literally are throwing away food that can be used to feed someone else in need. Food waste is defined as any consumable material or product that is ultimately disposed of in a landfill. This is a growing concern. In fact, there is 50% more food waste per person since the 1970s. How can this be? Food waste occurs during all stages of the food system, like during production, harvesting, processing, distribution, preparation, and consumption. Production of food involves the least amount of food waste, since people and companies want to get the most amount of food out of the land as possible. Weather can affect production due to droughts or extreme rainfall, killing off crops before they can be harvested for human consumption. Some crops are selectively harvested, meaning only the most visually appealing crops are harvested and sent off for distribution. Crops are also wasted when they become no longer edible due to insect or predator invasion. Also, fallen crops are usually not used for distribution, even if they are edible. In the food distribution and sales stage, certain food products are wasted when they are not sold due to a decrease in demand, when they are overstocked, or when they are not sold before their sell-by or best-by dates. Preparation of food accounts for a large portion of food waste in commercial areas, restaurants, and schools. Due to variations in demand, it is hard to determine the amount of food that is needed to be produced by some facilities. Additionally, overproduction is more common than underproduction, which causes cooked food to go to waste. Consumers also have an impact on food waste by purchasing more food than they can consume and throwing away what's left, simply due to dislike of leftovers or because the product is past its expiration date. Today's common philosophy regarding food is, when in doubt, throw it out. Food expiration dates are commonly misunderstood, and people often associate these dates with food safety. This is rarely the case, and most food labels pertain to the optimal freshness of the item, not the edibility.
Food waste has multiple negative environmental impacts, such as the loss of natural resources, pollution, and the increasing amount of greenhouse gas emissions created during production and disposal. In fact, organic waste is the second largest component in landfills. Also, millions of miles have been deforested in order to make room for landfills, and millions of gallons of fuel are used for farming equipment and transportation. Also, about half of the water used in food production is wasted on growing crops that will never be eaten. The production of greenhouse gases that are generated during energy usage and the abundance of rotting food both contribute to global warming and climate change. There are negative social implications to food waste as well. The fact that so much food is wasted while many Americans are in need or starving is appalling. People who do not have access or the means to purchase food often face deadly health issues. Malnutrition prevents the body's ability to fight infection and disease, and as a result, death often occurs if professional medical attention is not found. Many businesses are already donating unsold food to charities that support people in need, but how can you make a difference? An easy way to start is by seeing your personal impact. To see how much food waste you generate, try weighing your uneaten food after dinner for a week to see how much you're really throwing away. The results will shock you. The solutions for solving the food waste problem today come from the daily practices of the people. It is as simple as reduce, reuse, and recycle. Reduce the amount you buy, reuse what you don't eat by saving as leftovers or freezing it, and recycle your food waste by composting and recycling your food containers or packaging. Regardless of your living situation, there are other options on how to reuse your food rather than throwing it out. In fact, here at Towson University, There is a composting program that welcomes your food waste.
I'm John Brady. I'm Director of Operations with Towson Dining Services. I work for Chartwells, which is a division of Compass Group, and Chartwells is contracted by the university to provide food services, catering, retail outlets, concessions, and of course dining halls. Starting in 2010, Towson put out an RFP, which is a request for proposal, to look at different companies that could help them solve that composting solution. And the big thing was getting the food waste separated, but taking it somewhere off campus where they could actually process it into the compost. And there was a company called Waste Neutral that got the contract with Towson University. So all food waste will go into these collection containers to be separated and to be composted. Things that are man-made are out of the question. So if it's plastic, it's out. For every ton of food waste that leaves campus, it comes back as I'll call it like a fertilizer or a topsoil. On average now, we're separating about 135,000 pounds a year. Program year to date, we're probably about 406,000 pounds. Waste Neutral's doing it for a cost. You're removing a ton of waste from the waste stream that's going to the landfill. So that means that the university doesn't have to pay that cost for tipping fees. There's nothing bad about it. Straight up, there's nothing bad about it. If they're pulling it out of the waste stream and it's going to create like a second life in topsoil or fertilizer, whatever the case may be, that's definitely a good thing. In these last couple of weeks, we've been running a program in the dining halls called Project Clean Plate. And really what that is, that's an awareness program. As gross as it sounds, okay, we set up this little table by the dish return, and somebody comes back with a plate with food on it, we're scraping it in. And they're saying, what are you doing that for? Because we're measuring waste.
Marcy is logging today the amount of food that's coming back on the trays that is waste. So what she's doing is she's weighing it on the scale, she puts it into a container, and then we are logging it here so the students can see how much actual waste we have in a given period of time during the meal period.
We want to create the awareness of people's eyes are bigger than their stomachs sometimes when they walk into the dining hall, and they'll get one of these, one of that, and give me a little bit of that, and then they find that they're not that hungry. So this is kind of an awareness, you can always come back for more, but think about what you're taking the first time around so you can reduce that waste.
Also, some individuals are advocates of dumpster diving, or searching the dumpsters outside of grocery stores and high-scale food markets to take food for free. Many of these foods are still perfectly safe to eat since most of them remain in packaging and are just slightly past the sell-by or best-by dates. However, you don't have to be a dumpster diver to make a significant difference. Be smart about your grocery store purchases. Plan meals ahead of time, store your food properly, and if you happen to buy too much, invite a friend or two over to share. Even those small changes can create a drastic change in the amount of food that Americans waste, so that one day, everyone will go to bed with stomachs full of healthy meals.